Goodall had passed away. We got that news earlier this week.
And sailed from England to Africa by herself.
What were you doing at that age?
And she called it the Wood Wide Web.
What you're telling me is Creeping Bellflower is like the hacker.
And it's who's the biggest and the strongest to get the light.
Yeah.
Couldn't be further from the truth.
What tree would you ride if you could?
It's like a club that you're joining if you want to or not.
The Helpful Gardeners, the podcast that digs into the buzziest plant trends and news you need to know, regardless of your growing zone. Colin is a skilled horticulturist with decades of growing experience across Canada. Brandy is the greenest of green thumbs with a love of asking questions. Welcome to our garden nook.
Happy Thanksgiving, Colin.
Happy Thanksgiving, Brandy.
You know, it's kind of weird. Like a lot of podcasts would say, no, it's a holiday. We're not doing an episode. But nay. This is the Helpful Gardeners podcast, and we are very thankful not only for this podcast, but also for listeners like you for tuning in every week. And personally, like this Thanksgiving, I've got a lot to be thankful for. I've got my son, Bennett. You know, my mom's moved in the basement, and we've gotten so much closer. It's been really nice. I've been very thankful for, for you, all the friends in my life, the beautiful gardening season that we've had so far this year. Although, I didn't grow much, but what I did grow, I was very happy with.
You grew a human.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. Oh, that was nice. I like that.
Wins.
What are you thankful for?
Nothing special.
Yeah.
Like nothing grandiose. Like I don't have any, I'm thankful I don't have a newborn in my house. Touche. But family and friends have their health.
Mm-hmm.
Another year, I've got good family, good friends. I have a good career. So, I'm pretty good. And maybe people don't do podcasts and stuff on a day like Thanksgiving, but what a perfect day to sit back, digest all your heavy food, maybe take a nap and listen to some gardening stuff.
Yeah, I can tell you this is exactly how I'm going to be spending my Thanksgiving. I love listening to podcasts. Like whenever, you can learn so many cool and different things. And speaking of thankfulness, I think very timely because, Jane Goodall had passed away. We got that news earlier this week. And so thankful that you were actually able to be in the same room as her. Yeah. Like this extraordinary woman and leader in her industry. And you actually got to hear her speak. Yeah. That was a little bit ago though, right? Like I think four years ago.
2022.
Yeah, 2022. Yeah. And so kind of take me back to that. What was it like? What did she talk about?
Once I got over being starstruck.
Yeah.
You know how the certain celebrities and certain people, they're fake humble.
Oh, yeah.
Right? She wasn't. It's so down to earth. Anything that was asked about her immediately went to the people working at the Jane Goodall Society, her chimp refuge. She talked more about what other people were doing than what she had done.
It's really nice.
And, and she did have some stories, but the stories that she told were, there'll be bigger fans of Jane Goodall than me who know more for sure. But I think at the age of 18, so back in, I guess the 50s or the 40s or 30s, my math is not my strong suit. We've already established that numerous times. She hopped on a boat and sailed from England to Africa by herself.
Yeah. Which is wild.
Yeah. To work at a museum, and the guy at the museum who owned it sent her off to study the chimps.
What were you doing at that age?
Not sailing around the world to look at chimps. I don't want to say what I was doing when I was 19 because very different lifestyle, but I sure is.
But it takes a certain kind of courage, a certain kind of adventurous spirit to be able to do something like that.
And that's the thing is she had so much awe and wonder and drive and just, an absolute hero of mine.
Mm-hmm.
She changed international laws on animal testing. She made people see things that they hadn't seen before. And through it all was gentle, kind, and humble. Mm-hmm. So
what a great role model. I know for women around the world as well to know that she was that she existed. And I know a lot of other people who were in that same room as you, who got to hear her speak and got a signature from her and just was really touched by a lot of the things that she was saying, but also really cool kind of tie into this week's topic, right? So we're talking about that interconnectivity. And another really influential female leader.
Yeah. And another person that I have mad respect for, I don't want to say she's a hero because she's still alive and don't meet your heroes and all of that stuff, but what she did, so we're talking about should actually mention her name before Dr. Suzanne Simard. So she did her research. I believe she was born in Oregon, and she did her research of UBC in forestry.
Cool.
You've always heard people used to say in a forest, trees compete. Okay. So they'll shade each other out and they'll crowd each other out. And it's who's the biggest and the strongest to get the light.
Yeah.
That couldn't be further from the truth.
Really?
Not even close, not even remotely how it works.
Right. Because it's kind of weird. Like when I'm on a road trip, say, and I'm out in southern Alberta and I'm seeing, forest trees, and I see all the trees reaching, and you see like this one that's taller than the rest, and it looks so beautiful. And you immediately think that it's like shading out the other ones and it's getting the most resources. But no? Nope.
So what her book, and it's one of those sciencey books, so please forgive me for not knowing the whole title. But it's like a title and then like a semicolon and then an entire paragraph after. Wow. It's not that long, but but if you Google Dr. Suzanne Simard, the mother tree.
Yeah.
And what she found was the mycelium network, and she called it the Wood Wide Web.
Wait, Wood Wide
instead of the world. And
that's brilliant.
It's a layer of fungus that exists in damn near every forest, everywhere where there's plants like that. So you know the product we sell, Mike's?
Yes.
Okay,
yes.
So Mike's is mycelium. Okay, so it's a fungus.
Mm-hmm.
So all of the roots tap into this mycelium network, and the mycelium network, it basically transfers data. And there are trees out there that everybody is tapped in, and they go, oh my God, there's some new trees growing and they need a lot more potassium. So they send them their potassium. If there's a massive birch tree and a massive spruce tree, they are part of the mycelium network, but they'll push out more to their own species. Mm-hmm. Now, that isn't any kind of speciesism. It's just simply they have what their species need.
Yeah.
But what she did find is that there were certain relationships between other plants. So I might be getting this wrong. It's been a long time since I've read her work. So somebody else can fact check me, but it was something like she found the Douglas fir and the aspen.
Yeah.
So a deciduous and a coniferous.
Yeah.
Freely exchanged. Freely. Because what the coniferous needed at a specific time, the deciduous didn't.
Oh,
and what
interesting.
the deciduous needed, the coniferous didn't. So they would swap resources. But it goes deeper again. So what she found is if a tree gets attacked, bugs or disease, well, that goes through the tree's system and it puts it out into the mycelium network. All of the other trees know, and they start releasing pheromones or curling their leaves before the disease can get to them. So they act as a barrier, so they communicate with one another. And it's not just trees. Any living plant in the forest that has a root system that taps into the mycelium network is part of the communication in the forest. And it's to promote the deep sense of diversity that you need in order to live better. The more diversity, the easier it is to block certain bugs and disease and to survive through fires. And that's why the forest makes sure everybody grows. So if you're, funnily enough, and this isn't the way our logic is as humans, if you're the biggest, strongest tree in the forest, you don't get extra. You give more than you get.
So it's not like survival of the fittest. Nope. It's like whoever's tapped into.
And if you're the smallest, weakest, you get the most resources.
Yeah.
So they give it to who needs it the most. Yeah. There's no sense of like worthiness. There's no, we don't give to everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody is tapped in and the whole forest communicates and talks.
You know, the name makes sense now.
Yeah.
The wood wide.
Yeah, the Wood Wide Web.
I can't say that 10 times fast. That's really hard.
But she, mind-blowing that she discovered all of this.
I think that's so cool that no matter what kind of tree or plant you are, you have access to this network.
Yep.
Like I never even knew that this existed until now.
Yeah.
Is there any I guess like correlation, for lack of a better word, with like native plants versus plants that are introduced. Like I'm sure all plants will be able to tap into it, but maybe native plants can tap into it more.
I think if anything, and I don't recall reading that. So it should be mentioned as well. Dr. Simard found this out and wrote her book back in the 90s.
Oh.
Yeah, sorry, and I should have prefaced with that. So this wasn't just discovered like a year or two ago. Like,
this was around the time that the World Wide Web was actually becoming a thing.
Exactly. And I don't know if I had to suppose, with the little bit of knowledge I have of it all, I would say one of the things that makes invasive plants invasive is they probably take more than they give. So they probably take. However, you tend to not see tons of invasive plants in a forest.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
You tend to see more invasive plants out in prairies, grasslands, wetlands.
Yeah, yeah.
You tend to not see them in a forest.
Yeah. So what you're telling me is creeping bellflower is like the hacker.
Yeah.
Like
I'm in.
We can infiltrate the cities.
Yeah.
It's easier to do than the forest.
Basically, but I've walked through a lot of forests all over Canada.
Yeah.
Some of the back alleys you drive down in Calgary in the summer, and it's just literally creeping bell all the way down.
Yeah.
You don't see that as much in the forest.
No. And you know what I'm thinking about? What's that forest that has General Sherman?
Oh, that I don't know the actual name of the forest, but that is, I believe, the Avenue of the Giants in San Francisco.
Yeah. So you imagine how big those trees are. Can you imagine the mycelium network underneath those trees? Like, I bet you if you were to plant something in there, it would, and it was able to access the network, because that's important. I bet you that plant would be amazing.
Basically, once the roots start growing, they're in.
Oh, okay. Got it.
They're in. So
like a club.
If you, it's like a club that you're joining if you want to or not. But again, it's not like you plant it and then General Sherman is taking everything and that's why he's the biggest. Again, he's probably maxed out. He probably doesn't need anything, and I guarantee he's leaching out more than he's taking up.
Yeah.
We anthropomorphize as humans, and we look at things. I do it all the time with Jimmy. I look at Jimmy and I give him human emotions. He doesn't have human emotions. He's a dog. But I'm like, oh, Jimmy's a grumpy pants.
Yeah.
As humans, we looked at the forest. This tells you exactly why I prefer plants to people. Present company excluded. I did start this episode by saying I was thankful for family and friends. So not them, all listeners or other people. No. What it boils down to, though, all joking aside, is that we looked at a forest and we said, well, that's what we would do. Right. And I'm, love it or hate it or whatever. But mankind, we have been known for, we push other people down to get ourselves up.
Yeah.
So we look at the trees and we go, well, that's what they're doing. And then we're like, no, they're doing everything they can to give everybody an even playing field. And you will walk through a forest and you will see a dead tree. Absolutely. But that tree is also now decaying and the mycelium network is taking all of the nutrients that it's breaking down and it's feeding other things. It's all part of the picture.
I can't help but think about like the Lord of the Rings when Treebeard gathers up all the trees to go and fight the humans and the orcs and stuff. And I'm thinking like, I wonder if that's what they're doing with us. They're like building this mycelium network and they're going from the ground up and they're kind of trying to infiltrate. I don't know, maybe.
Hashtag T-Ment.
Hashtag conspiracy theory.
Oh my God. People don't need more of those.
No.
I would, come on. One of the best scenes in Lord of the Rings is when he's walking through the forest and the hobbits are riding him.
Yeah.
Wouldn't that be rad?
That would be rad.
Yeah.
What tree would you ride if you could?
I mean, it's tough in Canada, right? Because
you don't have a lot of options.
and also you're like, thanks for the ride. I guess I'll see you in April. Do you think they would get cold?
They would get cold.
Ooh, there's so many.
Are you trying to insert a non-native tree into?
Well, no. What I'm saying is, if the tree was alive, would it necessarily lose its leaves because it would have more control over it? But it doesn't get the light it needs. So if I could pick one to ride, I kind of like oaks. I think
oaks are great. I actually saved an oak leaf the other day because they just look so cool.
Yeah, but
that's a good one.
Larch. The snuggly.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, yeah, it's soft.
Yeah.
They change colors. They're kind of interesting. But then you're right. Like in the wintertime, they just look like bare things.
An apple tree so you could like scrunch as you traveled.
That's a great idea.
I mean, I'd want a large army of diverse trees that I could hop around in between.
Yeah. See, I'd want something resistant to bugs because I don't like bugs. So if like my tree got an aphid infestation, I don't want to be, dealing with wasps and.
So you see, you might not ride in an aspen.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, that's
no aspen
fair.
for me.
Yeah.
Mayday trees are kind of nice though. Yeah. Springtime and it smells all nice.
And then nice and full and big and
huge.
Yeah, you get right up to the top.
Yeah, you'd have all these options.
So many options.
Or what's that tree? It smells so good. Like you go into say a forest in Alberta and it's always there. Poplars.
I mean, it smells so good. I'm trying to what time of year? What when like in the spring you walk?
Like in the summertime, if you go in there, it like distinctly smells like this tree. I feel like it's a poplar tree.
Okay.
The ones because the poplar emits that fuzz, right?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe not though. Actually, that's not a tree for Brad. Brad would be like allergy city.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't do like a spruce tree, even though they're kind of cool. Like they're kind of
too
pokey.
prickly.
Yeah.
You know what would be great though?
What?
You know what would be great? I'm bringing it back to Jane Goodall. Yeah. Get a wicked big tree and then you could ride with her chimps.
Planet of the...
Exactly. You got a tree, chimps, and me. And I'm traveling around all over Canada on my chimp tree.
This podcast is brought to you by Golden Acre Home and Garden. Find seasonal inspiration for your home and garden in Calgary, Alberta year-round. Visit goldenacre.ca. The comments and opinions expressed by the Helpful Gardeners on this show are our own and do not necessarily reflect the views of Golden Acre Home and Garden. For more information on everything we covered today and to leave us a voice note, visit goldenacre.ca/podcast. The Helpful Gardeners are on Instagram at The Helpful Gardeners Pod. Keep on growing, gardeners!